Hello students, let us learn General Science for class 7 from the book Science Square. Today we are going to learn chapter 13, Motion and Time. In this chapter, we shall discuss about different types of motion, speed and its measurements, time and its measurement, unit of time and speed, and we are going to learn about distance time graph. Let us begin the chapter. If an object keeps on changing its position with time, it is said to be moving or in motion. Motion can be of different types. Linear or straight, in which the object travels in a straight line. Motion can be circular, in which the object travels along a circular path. Motion can be curvilinear, in which the object moves along the curve. What is slow and fast motion? If one object covers a particular distance in less time and another object covers the same distance in more time than the first, then we can say the first object is said to be moving slowly while the second object is moving faster. The distance travelled by an object in unit time is called its speed. Different types of speeds. Uniform speed. When the object travels a fixed distance, same time gaps, it is said to be having uniform speed. When an object covers different distances in different time gaps, we call the speed as non-uniform speed. The total distance travelled by an object by the total time taken by the object is known as its average speed. Let us now discuss how to measure the time. There are different types of time measuring devices. Sundial, it uses the position of the sun to depict time. Sun clock or hourglass, it uses sun to measure time. Water clock, it uses water to measure time. Pendulum clock, it uses a pendulum to measure a time. Quartz clocks, they have electric circuit that works with the help of cells. They provide accurate time. Currently, digital clock is also in use. Let us now discuss about the periodic motion of a simple pendulum. A simple pendulum contains a bob. It is a metallic ball or a stone which is suspended from a rigid stand with the help of a thread. Oscillatory motion. The to and the fro motion of the pendulum is called oscillatory motion. The bob of the pendulum moves from the center, that is mean position of the pendulum, to its extreme positions on the either side. Oscillation. When the bob moves from its center, that is mean position, to its extreme ends, either to C or B, it is said to complete one oscillation. Time period of a pendulum. The time taken by the pendulum bob to complete one oscillation is called its time period. Units to measure time speed. Time we can calculate in seconds, minutes, hours. Speed can be measured as meter per second, meter per minute, kilometer per hour, because the formula of speed is distance by time. In order to convert the meter per second and kilometer per hour, we use 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 1000 meter per hour. Hours can be converted to seconds as 3600. For conversion kilometer to hour to meter per second, we need to divide the kilometer per hour by 3.6. In order to convert meter per second to kilometer per hour, we need to multiply the meter per second by 3.6. This helps you to calculate the problems based on time and speed. We have another measurement device to calculate the speed. It is a device which is used in vehicles such as cars, trucks to measure the speed in kilometer per hour. There is another device known as odometer which measures the distance travelled by a vehicle in meters and kilometers. Let us now discuss about the distance time graph. A graph represents the distance travelled by an object with respect to time is known as distance time graph. Let us now mark the x-axis and y-axis and divide them in equal quantities. Now, we need to choose one scale to represent the distance. For example, x-axis to represent the distance where 1 kilometer is equal to 1 centimeter. Let us take time in y-axis representing 1 minute is equal to 1 centimeter. We shall now mark the values of time and distance in the graph as shown in the table. We are going to mark the table values of the table in the graph. Mark the set of values of time taken and the distance covered in that time by the object in the graph. Now, draw lines parallel to x-axis and y-axis at the points that you have marked. So, as discussed earlier, we are taking distance in kilometers in y-axis and time in minutes in x-axis. 1 minute is equal to 1 kilometer and 2 minutes is equal to 2 kilometers. And we are drawing the lines parallel to x-axis and y-axis. Mark the points where these lines intersect on the graph. These points show the position of the moving objects. When you join all the points of the intersection, you will obtain a straight line graph. This graph is known as distance time graph of a moving object. Let us now discuss about the shape of the distance time graph. There may be three possibilities of shapes in the graph. One might be straight line, or might be parallel to time axis, or might be curve shape. We can see the graph and we can interpret. The straight line shows the object has a uniform or constant speed. The line parallel to the time axis shows that the object is stationary. The curve shape shows that an object has a non-uniform speed because it is moving from slow to faster. Let us now discuss how to find the speed from the distance time graph. We know that speed is equal to distance by time. The distance must be calculated from the final position and the initial position. So, final position of the object minus initial position of the object divided by time taken by the object. The speed of the distance time graph can be calculated by the slope of the graph. The steeper the slope of the graph, the speed is more. In the graph given below, we can see the object A has a steeper slope than object B. This shows that the object A is moving at a higher speed than object B. Steeper slope will have a more speed. Let us have a chapter recap. The distance moved by an object in a unit time is called its speed. Speed of the object helps us to decide which one is moving faster than the other. The speed of an object can be calculated by the distance travelled by the time taken. The unit is meter per second. Periodic events are used for the measurement of time. Periodic motion of a pendulum has been used to make clocks and watches. Motion of the object can be represented in pictorial form by the distance time graph. The distance time graph for the motion of an object moving with a constant speed is always a straight line.